Hello, and welcome to the start of the Welsh Esports League Season 5. We've got some exciting Overwatch for us to get into today. We've got 2 games right to your eyeballs. We're bringing them to you. We've got some new well, we don't have some new teams per se, but we've got some old faces. We've got some new friends. And we've got our old champions coming back to see if they can take the throne once again, to see if anyone can put a stop to them. And Edu, you and I were talking before this match, and we were saying that this was quite an underdog match.
Well, yeah, it is going to be the bottom seed, the Pirates here versus the Artists, just to name the matchup here. And of course, if you guys are familiar with the Welsh Esports League, welcome, of course, to Season 5. I've been here for every other season, and I know, you guys may know, the Artists is the undefeated team all the way since Season 1, starting back at the start of 2023. So we've made it a year and a half through the Welsh Esports League Overwatch edition, and it has been a absolute miracle to watch the Artists yet to drop a map. So, and I mean that in the entirety of the Welsh Esports League, not in just last season. But when we talk about this upcoming battle, the Pirates, who we're going to be following today, versus the Artists, we do have one thing to note. The last time these two teams fought, it was in the semi-finals of the playoffs of Season 3. The Pirates not being able to join us for Season 4, now back at it here as the 5th seed. So if you guys are interested in checking out any of the standings, any of the seeding, make sure that you head on over to the Welsh Esports Hub. It's got all of the information for not only League of Legends, but also for your Dota 2. You have your Overwatches. You have all of the information for the Welsh Esports Leagues across the board here. So very interesting to see how they're going to fare. But with that being said, I do want to say thank you again for joining us, as we are going to be getting into the action shortly. But KWing, it's the first time me and you are on the desk together, so how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very great, and I'm feeling excited about this opportunity for I think the Pirates to show us what they've got. It's a high bar to clear going up against the Artists, especially in Esports Wales, especially in the Welsh Esports League. You're going up against a titan of this tournament. Like you said, haven't dropped a map, not just in last season. They didn't just run a perfect season, they have run a perfect tournament, the entire tournament, a year and a half of no maps dropped. And from what we have learned as well, is that they have been incredibly dominant. In that match you were talking about, where they faced off against the Artists and the Pirates, I mean, it was a dominant showing out of the Artists. 3-0, and just a train wreck for the Pirates. And you have to feel that.
Ready for battle. No one rests until this is done.
Time to save the world? Game on!
Stand behind till Desert strikes him down!
I will create pathways to victory. Make sure you follow them.
5, 4.
Has been one of the main reasons why they win so early. They will be able to get across this map and onto the point before the Pirates even has a chance, even with the Pirates having this Lucio. So I'm looking over at the Pirates. They've had a whole season to take a deep breath, but it looks like they already want to fight it out, and they're doing so pretty solidly at that, trying to fight it over in this right-hand side. And so far, actually, damage has been going to the advantage here of the Pirates, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're doing much space getting here.
Yeah, they're not grabbing much in the way of space, and the Artists are completely happy to eat that space up, and it seems a bloodless fight has landed the Artist the point fairly well, but there's going to be a contest from the Pirates as they push in. You're looking for that early focus fire, any early picks out of the Pirates to get them some sway against the Artists. Doing well so far. Immortality Field out from Larinax. It's going to be the Pirates throwing out that Immortality Field later, but it's going to be Lazy getting taken down first. The Baptiste of the Pirates gone, and that's just the rest of them tumbling like dominoes without this.
Yeah, unfortunately that was very clinical and pretty typical of here, the Artists, their team play. It's just a lot of, okay, you guys can try to fight us, but the second that they realize, wait a minute, we have to take our space, they back up a bit, and they do an amazing job at repositioning, getting full control over that site. And now we're seeing a forced change up here from the Pirates. Looks like they swapped off that Ramatra going for the Diva, but will that be a different course of action for them? It looks like they're still going through the temple route of trying to get onto the site, and it hasn't worked last time, so I need to see how it's going to change.
Yeah, you need to see good Diva versus Diva play out of Beast for Numbers facing off against Isaka on the side of the Artists. As there goes the dive right on top of Simon, collapsed. Clinical dive and a clinical team fight. Speedy just getting squeezed out, taken out by Nonviolent. And there you go. That's another win for the Artists. And only using the window late in the fight. It's tough. And the stagger here onto the Baby Diva is going to be brutal. Still just staggering herself out. She needs to just jump off the map at this point, Edu.
Yeah, she's going to be going for that, but they're not going to let her, getting the kill at the very last second, and that is a tough stagger here. And even while that's going on, Speedy, the Tracer, tries to distract, but overall just does give damage. And actually, we're looking at the ultimate charges here for the Artist. They got everybody geared to the teeth here for this next fight, while the Pirates is a little bit behind. Both Speedy and Lazy, these guys should already have it by now, and yet they don't. So there's not going to be too many opportunities here, and they even switched off that Bastion for the Kiriko. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can actually bounce back, as already it's at 90%.
Wow. Already at 90%, 2 picks going through, though Linrax is going to get taken down. That is a good chance for the Pirates, as the beat's going to come through from the Lucio, but they're still not going to be able to keep that Diva up, and even attempted to keep through the ER, even attempting to eat the Captain's Son won't work. And it's unfortunate there, as multiple members of the Pirates they don't get to use their ult that map. And it's because of that massive stagger that happened on the Diva midway through that map. If Beast for Numbers had jumped off the map quicker, you could have seen Pirates getting another fight out of this round, but instead it is a dominant 100-0 for the Artists.
Yeah, I mean, not even dropping a single contestant. I didn't see no overtime. It was just the Artists absolutely pushing them back. And I will point out here, one of the picks for the Artists swoosh is actually locking in Alari. Now, the last time Artists versus Pirates fought against each other was all the way back in Season 3, where Alari didn't exist. So already the Artists have adapted to the newest meta, showing off what damage numbers they can actually deal here with that new DPS support. But overall, you're looking at the Artists adapt to the new meta, while the Pirates is looking a little bit 2018-esque. I mean, the only thing is the Kiriko being the newest character that they're bringing, and so far, I don't see any team synergy here. I mean, Wrecking Ball with the Pharah, no mercy, nothing to really help them out, and I mean, it might help them get some high ground space, but at the end of the day, the Artists, they know how to punch right through it.
Well, they're going to get the pick onto Linrax with Speedy on this Tracer. It's a great start, and they're going to go and collapse onto the Artists, and there goes the fight win. The Venture of Sivart going to go back in, though. Going to be very self-sustaining, this Venture, but the Pirates looking to cap out this point. They're going to get some stagger in from the Artists to try and contest, though.
Yeah, but they don't have much HP to work with here. Now, the Wrecking Ball doing a great job just being that distraction for these teams, but you look at that damage, and it seems to be a bit too much. The Alari, though, that turret healing is just perfect, but however, Pirates will be able to cap it anyways, and this is not looking too ideal. Somehow, Wrecking Ball manages to escape with their life, but Isaka takes out a support, and when one support falls, it is just going to be that first domino of the set here, and now you're seeing a big struggle. The Wrecking Ball trying their best to keep it up, but numbers enough. I don't think they live this, and no, that is going to be the dead tank, dead Pharah, and now a dead Tracer, unless they can get out.
Well,
Oh,
they're going to
still
contest here. They're going to fight for this point as much percentage as they can get, getting up to 23%. But I like this Wrecking Ball composition. I like trying to disrupt the very, very mechanical play of the artists. But so far, you haven't seen a lot of ult charge. I mean, just compare the ult charge of the artist supports, both almost to their ults, to Mootsie and Lazy, barely at 75% each of them. And now Lazy's dead again.
Oh, and this is a big ultimate coming out here. They're just going to use it to hunt for this Pharah, and I don't know if they're even going to be able to get it out too much. And yeah, we're seeing some stragglers coming in. Speedy, I'm not even sure why you're on this point. Your team's nowhere to be found, and that is a big stagger. Luckily, it's on the Tracer, but look at Moots. The Lucio takes out the Bastion. A little bit of a support diff there, but wait a minute. It's a new character on the field. It's going to be the Venture here, and they are killing it right now with some more damage. And God, I love the fact that the artist is pulling out some new characters to show us here in the season 5 of the WEL. But at the end of the day, new characters, same old artists, they're still just dominating. Oh, so much damage.
Silver just pulled out the tectonic shock as a disrespect. That was such a nasty ult to stagger out Speedy on the Tracer. But now going into this, you do have a few ults for the Pirates. You have the Barrage, you have the Beat, and the Beat is what I'm looking for because you have that Grav Blade combo for the artists. If they track this Lucio ult, and I bet you they have, they're going to split out these ults, or they might not even need to.
Oh no! Oh, he couldn't even break it down! Oh my God!
Ajax!
That's going to be play of the game. That's 2 ultimate shutdown with 1 Genji. Absolutely beautifully played. Now Lazy here needs to just try to back, but wow, Beast for numbers taking out Savart, a big amount of stagger, but they have to. Look at that, 97%. You have to contest now. It's overtime. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do much. Speedy's doing a decent job. I mean, they're just going for OT time. I mean, this is all that is. I mean, if this is Overwatch 1, it would be the gold medal of just objective time, but no real objective outside of losing slowly.
Yeah, it's just going to be staggers in, Beast for numbers.
Not even get on, he pressed control.
Doesn't even get the touch. It's unfortunate, but you know, you were completely correct there that they weren't going to be able to win that fight. They were staggering in, and an incredible play. It's going to be Sivart on the on the Venture. All right, let's see it.
Nice save.
That's pretty impressive, but I have to admit, you have to love that Genji Blade. You have to love the forced Ajax that they got out of it. But this is the artists, man. This is the artists. This is just exactly what they do. They are dominant at what they do, and this composition works together incredibly well with the D.Va, with the Genji, with the Venture. It's incredibly high burst potential with the booster jets of the D.Va, combined with a melee that's 65 damage to a target, with the Genji Swift Step, with the Venture Shift. You've got enough damage there to basically evaporate one squishy as long as they don't get immediately healed or have an immortality field on them. It's an incredibly powerful and potent dive, and especially the burst potential of that Venture with the primary fire. There's so much that Venture adds to this dive composition, and you're completely right. The artists have spent this time building. They are not stuck in 2023 or 2018. They are taking these new characters, they're adding, they're building off of them, but they're also playing to the meta very, very, very well with this D.Va comp.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, looking at what the artist is doing well, it's now time to take a look at what the Pirates might need some work on. So let's analyze back and think about where were their main primary struggles. And I gotta hand it to the Pirates. I need to see these players being able to, one, avoid staggers. A lot of the time you had, the Lucio or Speedy, the Tracer, getting a little bit stuck out behind enemy lines, and they weren't able to get an escape. And, you know, the funny thing is, Speedy was given many opportunities to just leave, but instead fighting and contesting a point that they didn't own, getting maybe an additional, when they did own it, getting an additional maybe 2 to 3% back onto their score total. But, you know, it really comes down to those staggers that have been so critical. And you look over at the Wrecking Ball, who's playing solo for most of it. I didn't see a lot of team synergy with that Wrecking Ball. Yes, they were doing a lot of damage, and yes, they are a hot player in this field, but when it comes to a 5v5 Overwatch, you need to be able to play as a team. You don't have that secondary tank that can make you all the space. You need to be able to have your team getting your back. So looking at the Pirates moving into this next map, seeing the weaknesses of them, being completely staggered a lot of the times, I would hope that they are going to be able to take a deep breath and get into this next game with a little bit more vigor.
And I think as well, when we talk about those staggers, I think it's very easy to focus, as I did, on that D.Va stagger round 1 because it was so incredibly long. And yes, that's the point. They are trying to keep that D.Va on the field for as long as possible to delay the next attack, but the way that ended up getting played was the D.Va not really knowing what to do. When you're being staggered as a D.Va, your options are you either, if you're on the defense of a map like Push, or if you're on a map like Push, or if you're on the defense of a hybrid or an escort map, then you're going to want to sit on the payload and not let them get any progress, so they're forced to kill you, or you jump off the map. Those are the options. And what we saw was a little bit of not knowing exactly what to do, was trying to go back to the team, but then that didn't go back well. So we just kind of walked into, it was not really knowing what to do. It was sometimes the Pirates looking a little lost. And I think that going into this next map, which is going to be Eichenwald, our hybrid map, I really want to see them running a rush comp. I want to see where all that you have to do, to simplify it, obviously, is stick with your tank and rush at the enemy team. And it's what the artists are bringing out. They're bringing out the Reinhardt, they're bringing out the Bastion, they're bringing out the Junkrat. They're bringing out proto high damage rush.
Yeah, and honestly, I also like the fact that the artists here bringing out that Junkrat. It's one of my favorite picks, personally. I love picking it on this map because of the choke point, the very first thing, that under the bridge right here around this corner, you're going to be running into a lot of damage output, and you already can see that happening. But at the end of the day, we are seeing them now trying to get back on it, get their footing, and do some damage here, as Savart, need to see what else they're going to be able to pull through with, as Isaka already takes out the Venture. Already we see the Zarya getting taken out by the Bastion. I mean, this is an old comp, but it works so well, and I don't think that there's anything that these players can really do besides do a hard reset here and probably switch out their team comp, because you're not going to want to pick those DPS into that Bastion.
No, you really aren't, and part of me hates myself for suggesting it, but you have to try and go. You might want to go a D.Va here. Either a D.Va, the Zarya could work, but you have to be worried about the Bastion. You have to be worried about the sheer amount of damage that he can put out. The D.Va's going to deny a lot of value here, but when the wheels come out, the artists are here to play.
Wow, double kill here for Swoosh, cleaning up what the Bastion's putting down, and an honestly great hold back again. And it makes me wonder, is this Zarya going to have enough value compared to this Bastion? Would you rather have an Orisa, or would you rather have a D.Va, somebody, or even a Sigma, somebody who can really just counter that Bastion heavily? And I would assume that they're going to be switching it up, but instead of any of those options, they go for the Junker Queen, which I don't see the value out of right now, but maybe they could prove me wrong.
Yeah, I don't get the Junker Queen. I agree with you. I don't get the Junker Queen. It's going to go down early to a Shatter. It has no shield. And there goes a stagger onto Speedy. And I don't know. I think that the Junker Queen is going to very easily... Her weakness is that she can get out-brawled very, very easily. So she can't do long, extended, protracted fights with characters like a Ramatra or a Reinhardt that are going to have a shield to shred through, that are going to have, they're going to have a long fight. As here comes Simon with the Riptire. We'll see if we can get some value coming over the ramparts.
Look at that. Simon with a little bit of movement here, and it's going to connect onto the Rhine. Taking out that tank is a huge opportunity for them to maybe get the first tick on this point. If you look at Speedy here, getting focused out in the venture. It looks like they ventured a bit too far into the back lines there, getting absolutely taken out. But look at this. It's Sebastian keeping it going. But finally, Beast for Numbers is able to keep it up. Swoosh is gone, and that is it. A full-blown take by the Pirates. So, yes, maybe we did not like that tank pick, but you got to hand it to Simon. The movement there absolutely opened the door for them to take that point.
And that's what I think is the pirate strategy is.
Ooh, that was rough to see.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You truly hate to see it. But I think that's what the pirate strategy does so well, is that they're able to play comfort picks, and they know how to play these picks very well. However, the artists are now playing Amalga, who is basically if the Junker Queen's health regen was on steroids. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Mauga against a Junker Queen. That's Brawl versus Brawl, and Mauga almost always wins that. And already taking out one. You do see a switch up here as well. No more Bastion. Instead, it's going to be Reaper trying to now do some damage and doing a decent amount of that. And already we're seeing a complete shift in the Pirates. They don't really know what to do here. A big ultimate, but it might not be enough. Are they going to be able to stop it? No! What a dagger to the face! This is going to be a huge pickup thanks to Beast for Numbers getting a number of kills on their belt, and that is a huge team kill. Artists needing to now reconsider their defensive strategy.
Perhaps it was a pretty big investment out of the Pirates, though, to be fair. You're talking your tank ult and your main support ult for just the Baptiste window, and this thing is recharged like that, I tell ya. That. Simon already getting taken down by the Reaper and just shut down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, great stuff here. Looking at this now, we are seeing the artists start to have a deep breath. But I will say, I think that what we saw the Pirates being able to, perform with, that big, ultimate expenditure was worth it. They got out of that choke point, and that's what they really needed to focus on. But now it's choke point number 2 when it comes to this map, the second bridge to go under, and I don't know if it's going to be too easy to do. Lucky for them, Simon's able to grab Savart, a little bit of a junker diff, and Savart mid-ultimate here, not even going to be able to find any value out of it.
No value out of the Riptire. So now a bit of an advantage perhaps. There goes the cage fight for this Malga. Is there anyone inside of this cage fight? I don't think so. I think it's just gonna be a big old shield for the artist to stay in for a little bit until they get out. The Reaper's an interesting choice. Gonna drop onto the Kiriko in a bit of trouble, but not able to confirm. Lazy gonna get taken out though. This is not looking good.
Yeah, but after Savart did die using that Riptire, they swapped it over to a Sombra, who honestly I think can do a lot of damage here, especially against Beast for Numbers, especially against that Tracer. So this might be the pick that they need here. And of course, we are still on that attack. We only have 1 minute left to get back through this. And yeah, look at this. Lid being able to take out a support on the way out. Isuka getting a double down, and they're going to keep this energy going. Unfortunately, the Pirates is going to have to get reset here as the artists are at that point where they have so much rollout potential. Isuka continuing that energy. Malga getting another pick down. And yeah, the Pirates going to have to reset for their final push, or this could be artist time to shine on attack.
I really did like that play out of Moots, trying to force the Baptiste away from the window and deny that value, but it went in a little too aggressive, but Swoosh gonna get taken down. There's some opening for the Pirates.
Wow, huge opening there, taking out one DPS, one of them. Both supports are now gone, but the tank, unfortunately, has fallen, and with only 5 seconds remaining, it's up to Isuka to just keep stalling. If he can do that, well, this is going to be an overtime of the century, having to get it all the way across the Icon Wall iconic bridge, and unfortunately, for the artist, Simon here has a Riptire and is setting up for success. If they can get one solid Riptire, that is going to change this game and potentially get them into that 3rd point.
The Riptire as well as the beat. I'm looking for how this beat is going to interact with the EMP. The Riptire's not, it went for the Tracer. EMP early. Beat is going to go out, but it doesn't land on a Beast for Numbers. Beast for Numbers is gone, done and dusted, and the Malga is just going to charge in onto the point. plant the flag and say, "You shall pass no further." Round 1 complete. 122 meters is definitely possible for the Pirates to defend, but based on how we've seen the artists play, you have to be worried if you're a Pirates fan.
I gotta hand it though. I'm gonna point out one thing that might have gone unnoticed here, and that was the pickup there in the very last moments there. Swoosh, swapping from support to Alari, something that is very strong at holding a point, similar to how we saw them pick it in our first map, where it is all about that CP, that controlling the point play style. Swoosh switching to Alari, recognizing, hey, we're about to get into another choke where it's do or die. Great, just switch up on them. It's how to counterpick properly. But now look at this. Artist on attack, going for the Mercy Echo, the Echo Mercy, and then having a backdrop of a Widowmaker. Very off meta from the Artist, but so potent for the Pirates, as unfortunately, they're going to have to rely on Speedy's aim here. That hit scan has to do so much against also another sniper on the board who could take him out like that. So I'm a little bit concerned here for the Pirates' safety, but it is going to be a far distance, 121 meters here for the Artists to push it, and I think Pirates might be able to stall them enough.
I don't know if I believe this composition out of the Artists. I'll believe it when I see it walk out of spawn, but until then, I'm waiting for the...
You gotta wait and see.
What?
It is scary. Trust me. It is. Just watch. Just keep your eyes on the screen, because you're about to be seeing some very interesting gameplay coming out here from the Artists.
Oh man, the Orisa. Not what I expected as the tank for this composition. I mean, not what I expected for much of anything. This Orisa's going to be pretty much acting alone, but Novulent is able to find the headshot.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Orisa. It's a distraction to allow this Widowmaker to get around the corners. That's the play that the Artist does. That's what Isuka does. He is going to be able to take the brunt of this team, you know, take on 3 people at once and allow for the flanks here. But wait a minute, Savart is down. Swoosh is able to grab the decent res here, but unfortunately, it's a little bit of a fight going on, and a reset will have to come through. But Swoosh, huge stagger there coming out thanks to the Pirates, and the Artists looking a little bit rough. So I think that Orisa might need to switch it up and give more protection towards their backline, as you saw both DPS falling and now the Mercy.
The Mercy going down. Oh, a huge pick out of Novulent. Lazy getting taken down is massive. And there goes Speedy. Novulent just took down 2 on their own.
Wow. And then, oh, I love the Bastion pick, and sorry, Baptiste pick, able to take these players out. And unfortunately, Lazy just got staggered beautifully. They are so aggro. They're spawn camping. Okay, Artists, paint us a prettier picture, because now you're painting their spawn walls red. What a play style from them. And unfortunately, that's going to guarantee the first point. It's now payload time.
Novulent, you can't do that. Lazy has been spawn camped. Lazy's not allowed to play the game. What happened to Simon?
Oh my god,
just took out Speedy. Novulent's taking out the entirety of the Pirates on their own. The lone sniper just demolishing the Pirates. That's incredible.
Yeah, and because of how much space that was created by that Widowmaker, all the damage that they were able to pull through. I mean, Isuka almost getting a boop kill onto a Lucio there, but regardless, they've gotten out of the first major choke point here. You do have one player trying to contest, but really that's just a stagger if you can't get back. And yeah, this is going to be a free push-up here. Isuka taking out a tank, and here's an ultimate that's going to kill 2 people. No,
and there you go.
Oh, so good. Okay.
And that's going to be an ace for Isaka and probably the map for the Artists. Well, no, they're not going to get 3 on the payload. They're going to drag this out, actually, with the D.Va on the side of the Pirates. I don't know. They have the Riptire, but their Junkrat is in the middle of no man's land, and he's going to get taken out.
I'm just watching Isuka's HP, let alone the amazing aim that they're pulling out. Their support is keeping this player alive. Even the Blade Storm gets popped, but it really doesn't matter. They're just forcing space here. And now, with only 4 meters to go, I'm a little concerned. Simon, this better land. And it does. It takes out Isuka, takes out Savart. Huge from the junk. But are they going to be able to get on point as Novulent is just flicking onto Lazy, flicking onto Speedy. Swoosh gets Savart back up, and this game is pretty much over.
No one can touch. That's it. That's going to be the artist taking that map in convincing fashion. And I feel like that was just absolutely down to Novulant on this Widowmaker. I cannot expect Beast for numbers getting this play
is
of
how
the
they
game.
got the first point.
I mean, sure, yeah, but we had an ace come out of one of our players. I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel like Pirates might be check the play of the game. Check the play of the game's PayPal. See if the Pirates are paying them off. I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. If they're not going to be taking the map, they might as well be taking the POTG. That's the thing. That play of the game is a coveted position that is given to two people, the best of the players and every Bastion ever. So when it comes down to how they are doing, a play of the game is definitely going to help them out with their mentality. But we are now moving into our third map, which could be the final map if the Pirates don't shape up to maybe, turn this game around here. And looking at the way that they were playing on Eichenwald, I can say very impressed by Simon. I'm going to be keeping my eye on that Junkrat. I'm going to be keeping my eye on how they're going to be able to perform. But as we did see quite the damage dealing players here in the tanks, Isaka, beast for numbers. Keep an eye on these guys as well. So I don't know. KWing, what are your thoughts moving into our final map here?
It's tough to say. I think for the final map, you have to think about shutting down if a Widowmaker comes out. Because at this point, that Widowmaker nearly single-handedly won the Artists round 2. Single-handedly sealed their attack. Because everything else, as you said, seemed to be a bit of a diversion. The Orisa wasn't really gaining a lot of ground, except for the one time where it really did gain a lot of ground. And to be honest, when you took out the Artist's Widowmaker, it seemed like they were in a bit of trouble. They didn't have a lot of recourse going forward. So especially with a composition like that that's so decentralized that an Orisa really doesn't fit in, finding those weak points and capitalizing on it, I think that's something the Pirates actually did very well at the start of that round. I think you had some good pop-off plays, but if you want to really make this a competitive match, more capitalizing on these mistakes, especially mistakes that are compositional in nature. You have to think about counter swapping for tanks, which I think they've actually done a fairly good job of so far, of counter swapping and trying to beat the idea of the composition that the Artists are running. But at the end of the day, there's also just so much pop-off potential on the side of the Artists that you have to wonder if they're going to be able to step to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Artists, though, if you talk about capitalizing on mistakes, the Artists aren't a team that makes many. So if you are going to be able to try to get your foot up on the competition, the second the Artist loses a Widowmaker, you got to push them all the way back to spawn. The second the Artist loses their tank, when Simon is able to get a double kill down, I should be seeing a lot more space being taken. But unfortunately for them, when we look back at that last map, you saw Simon getting a double down, took out a Genji and took out an Orisa, yet the amount of space immediately recouped was slow. You have to be like a rush of water. You fill to the space created immediately. You can't be like molasses. If you're too slow to the punch, well, Orisa gets back up, Genji gets revived, and you've lost the point. So the whole point here is you want to try to, as you put it, KWing, take as much space as possible whenever the Artists make a rare slip up. And the Pirates, I do want to say, they got better. They're not staggering as much. They, it's not the same game mode for staggers, but their positioning was better. It has improved. So hopefully it's improved to enough for them to maybe go the distance here in this next map. Map number 3 is going to be very interesting to see how they actually fare. But it also comes down to what seeming to me to be a knowledge check. A lot of the new characters, a lot of the new metas seem to be, not shown up here by the Pirates. And, it has been a couple seasons since we last saw them play. So maybe they're using an outdated playbook, especially on one of our newest Overwatch maps here.
On one of the newer maps, you're talking, of course, about Shambali Monastery. I'm interested here. We've got Double Dive, but Pirates are playing something very interesting. They're playing this with the Lucio. Moots on the Lucio, it's not something you typically see with the Dive. You typically see either long-range healers like what you're seeing with the Ana and the Iari, or you see heroes that are looking to bunker down in the Ana and your Brig.
I'm also looking at Savard on the Widowmaker,
Always.
and I think they're lagging out. Holy, that was a lot of lag. We just watched them lag out. And wait, they killed Simon? No, that was Novulant.
That was Novulant.
Okay, Novulant got the kill. All right, but yeah, a little bit of lag here coming out from the Widow, and doesn't matter, I guess. Instantly doming that player. Speedy might be able to get out. Yes, will succeed, and the Pirates already starting to stagger, similar to what we saw in map 1.
They can't do that. They really can't. There's a really big opportunity for a spawn hold here. Isaka going in way too deep.
Too deep and not really benefiting from much there. So unfortunately for the Artist, this is one of those rare slip-ups that you need to capitalize on. And Beast for Numbers is taking out Savart there, taking out the laggy Widow. Might be able to find a few more picks. And no, instead, the Artist shows their knowledge and knows how to back properly. Will be leaving without staggering a single other player. So Isaka coming back with some great defensive moves. Now in a new choke point, this is where they're going to try to set up.
Immediately the dive from Isaka going in onto this backline, but in a bit of no man's land. Something that's the thing when we're talking about mistakes, is Simon gonna get found out in the backline. Savard hitting the headshot in the end. Novulant and Savard, the dynamic duo that these two just dominant.
Wow. Absolutely domination here. And wow, looking at that, it's a big stagger. It's going to set them back about 30 seconds here before they can get back on their feet. Beast for Numbers going down like that, not ideal. But Lynn, you are going to get punished for trying to be a DPS Ana in 2024. Speedy, though, immediately trades out as well. So we are going to have a big stall here as one support's gone. Savard's taken out, and what an ultimate from Isaka, trying to make some space with that massive HP. The Monkey Rage coming up with some damage here, and yeah, will make enough space for hopefully a reset. Isaka should be able to get out.
This is a massive mistake out of the Artist. They just used 3 ultimates on a doomed fight. The Pirates are going to be able to take this fight, and they're probably going to be able to take the next. They're going to use the Nano. They might, if they use their Widow ult, they have just dropped 5 ults, and they're losing the fight. This is round destroying here out of the Artist. This isn't just one of the minor mistakes that we've been talking about. This is an absolute Achilles heel. This is ult economy that we have not seen out of them in terms of ults thrown into the breeze. And a great stagger.
Oh my god, picking up a Brigitte against a Winston, a very interesting idea there. But yeah, you're looking at Speedy buying so much time. I hope that they are going to switch Savart off of this Widow, because if you're lagging like that, I can assume that might be an issue. But even if you're not lagging, you're counterpicked. That Sombra and just the Tracer are not going to make it easy for you. So having them still lock this in, this could be just a throwing of an idea. The DPS needs to probably switch ASAP, or you're going to have some issue. And I like that Novulant is also switching it up to another character. But honestly, I would think that a Cassidy here would be ideal against this team composition.
Maybe, but in goes the Kitsune Rush and a massive EMP. That's just the entire fight. Just Beast for Numbers gonna run through the entirety of the Artists, and that's what we were talking about with the ult economy. And the Pirates are clicking here. A bit of an overinvestment, I think, with the Kitsune Rush, but that doesn't matter. They have pushed through almost 4 minutes on the clock.
Wow. I mean, the Pirates definitely playing better, but I'm still looking over at the Artist and I'm asking, you guys have to change something. Please change something soon. But we do get change. We have now a solid Echo, and it's a both double aerial play against this team.
What?
Might actually pay off.
I don't understand it though. Isaka though is going to take out Beast for numbers. You don't have anything to heal them in the air. Savart and Navi are going to have to come down to the ground or take a repair pack. But Moots is going to go down, and it's going to be the Pirates getting sent back. Their ult bank run dry, but are coming back up onto this Primal Raid from Beast for Numbers. They're coming up onto a beat. So the Pirates have a great opportunity to take an advantage here against really only the rally from the Artists. And Navi can switch off to the Tracer.
I do think that you are underestimating the amount of healing that Brigitte can do from a distance. That's one thing. Tossing those rings out will be able to help out. And honestly, there's not a lot of counter to this Pharah yet, and that's going to be a big problem. Luckily, you're seeing the damage, but it is that Pharah who finally gets taken out. Echo does hard counter. And unfortunately, it's just going to be up to Isaka to stall. Great ultimate here to trap everybody. Huge stall. Isaka might be able to get a kill, and no, punished for their hubris by Speedy. And that is going to be a new payload to push. Unfortunately, the Artists, they don't know what to do. Now picking out a Life Weaver, and this might not be enough.
Kitsune Rush versus the beat and the window is going to be really dangerous. This barrage from Savart, I'm nervous for it. There's nothing really to counter it out. They just need to be able to spot it and focus it out. Get that pick. There goes the rush. Here goes Savart. Has the barrage life gripped away. It's going to be Lyrax going down. Isaka gone. The Pirates are close to finishing this map with time in the bank. Wow. And as that copy goes through onto the Malga, it's gonna be the Pirates finishing the map. A minute and a half on the clock. I feel like, Edgy, what I feel like just happened is I think the Pirates have just been punched in the face twice by the Artists. Just two incredibly powerful blows knocked to the ground. And all we hear in the silence afterwards is laughing as the Pirates laugh and they stand up and they deliver a haymaker with that. A minute and a half on Shambali Monastery. Incredible turnaround, an incredible team coordination, ult management. This is a new Pirates.
Is it a new Pirates, or is it a uncharacteristically changed Artists? Because here's the thing, I think they're going through a little bit of drawing block. They weren't able to paint a pretty picture for us here. That last plan that they had to switch so many times that they couldn't build an ultimate properly. They had so many hiccups where you had Isaka on that Winston just getting way too aggro, not realizing that Winston, yes, is going to be fine in his bubble, but the second that bubble pops, well, he gets popped. So you look at that, and Artists, they have to do something differently. And not having Savart on Widow, I think, is a perfect start here. Give it to Novulink. Give it to the person who single-handedly won Eichenwald for the Artist. And also, a minute and 36, I think the Artist will definitely be able to compete with that time here. So really, it does come up to, how the Pirates is going to be able to answer against this Widow again.
Well, that's the question. It's just going to be an early Widow there. It's just going to be a bit of a peek out, see if we can hit any shots, and then leave. But for the Artists, I think they have a big weight on their chest here as Beast for Numbers, though, going to get taken out. It's a characteristic dive. It seems like the Artists have remembered who they were in a great chase. There's going to be the Suzu out from the Kiriko as the support in trouble. Isaka not able to get any kill confirmed, looking to go in onto this Kiriko, but staying alive.
Yeah, honestly, though, what Isaka just did there was allow for so much space. If you could have the Lucio contest for time, then that would definitely have helped out the Pirates there, but instead they can't. So a full reset, great, no staggers here for the Pirates, but Isaka just being that distraction for their DPS in the backline, and it's working. You're allowing Symmetra to set up so potently, and Savart knows how to use that Symmetra to be damage dealing. And look at that, Isaka now cleaning up what the DPS are putting down, and look at that, everybody's just getting pushed square off the point, and already we're seeing a final contestation. But look at the time, we still have 3 minutes left, and hell, we have 5 minutes left now.
Yeah, 5 minutes on the board is massive out of the Artists. They have turned this around, and it is really thanks to Isaka. What incredible diva play, chasing around back, catching these supports off guard, and really just feeding this ult. Had that ult charge in a minute in just a minute had that ult charge incredibly quickly, which is difficult for a diva to do, to get that ult charge so quickly. Now the Pirates trying to take some space, but it's going to be at such a disadvantage. This Winston really struggles against the diva, and this early self-destruct could be deadly. It's not going to land anything in the kill feed.
Oh, big. This is huge, massive from Moots, taking out Lin. And that could be the opening that they need. They have the beat drop, and they immediately use it to try to keep their team alive. But wait a minute, stun struck. They can't do much. Winston is going to try to get out, and yes, Swoosh is gone. So a big pickup there. And no, Moots.
Oh, Moots gone.
Over-aggressing. It doesn't matter, though. Without Swoosh, you have to back. And with that Sombra hack, you're just going to be taking too much damage. Wait, they turn it around. Nobulant doing all of the DPS. And look at that. Isaac keeps it going. They're so low, but somehow they're staying on top, and they manage to win that fight from nothing. From the scrap of their teeth, they're able to just beat them back.
I mean, you say when Swoosh goes down, they have to retreat, and they do have to back a little bit, but they still have Linrex there on the Baptiste, and that HP, that's so big as the EMP out, only going to land onto a few. Simon gone, and it's just a day at the shooting range for Isaka and the Artists. They're going to keep 5 minutes near on the clock.
Wow. 4:50 left to go, and, you know, I was... When I said a minute 36 seconds, pretty competitive, but not to the Artists, I meant it. Look at these guys. They are up 3 minutes now, trying to just get through the final choke. And in my opinion, this final choke is the easiest in this map location. I think second point is definitely going to be a little bit of a struggle. But you look now at the Artists, who have all the ultimates, the Baptiste window. They even have Savard to wall these players back. And yeah, I think this is going to be a tough hold for the Pirates.
It's going to be incredibly tough, especially with a lot of pressure onto Savart early on, but just incredible peel out of the support. There's nothing else there, just so much peel. Diva Bomb into the air, and, well, not going to land any kills, but with the Pirates all scattered to the winds, there's not much they can do. Lazy charging up to this Kitsune Rush. Lazy cannot die here. If Lazy dies before unleashing this Kitsune Rush, it is incredibly Jover for the Pirates. Kitsune Rush thrown out. You do have the beat, but it might just be a bit too late. It's too late for Moots. It's going to be an Ajax out of them, and Swoosh and the rest of the Artists hit back even harder. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. What a rush out of the Artists. And now for the Pirates on the attack, we have to see how strong their mind is, how strong their mental is.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out. But with a minute 36, as you put it, not going to be an ideal starting point, to say the least. However, we did see the Artists struggle a lot on the defense in that first point. We saw Isaka getting a little bit too greedy. We saw a lot of change up here. But in my opinion, because Isaka did those very bold entry plays, backline jumping, using the Winston, I do think that Isaka has learned from that mistake by sticking to the Diva, and we won't be seeing the same mistakes again, which does not fare well for Pirates' sake. They want those mistakes to come through. They were doing a great job punishing those mistakes, and now there might be a lot less to actually punish.
Yeah, we saw a really solid play out of the Pirates in terms of punishing a big mistake out of the Artists in terms of their ult economy. And we have to see it again. We have to see not just punishing those big mistakes, the obvious flagrant ones that we were talking about, but also punishing some of these macro mistakes, because Isaka does them. As incredible of a diva play as we're seeing out of Isaka, we are also seeing sometimes over-aggression. And I think that if we can see a bit of jumping on top of Isaka and really punishing them for going in too deep, we might just have something here for the Pirates, as Beast for Numbers is going to get so pressured out. And just, I love this. Getting like a tracer alarm system for Speedy.
Yeah, I do think that, you know, we are going to be seeing a little bit of a push up here thanks to Speedy Space, but already Beast for Numbers is down. Already we're seeing the damage too much to count. And now looking at this next fight, looking at what is available there's not a lot to say. There's really not much that they can do. Escort the payload, and it has barely moved. With 40 seconds left on the clock, they have to start grouping. You can't go the back route, as you are going to get punished every time. So now they're finally grouped up. They're finally on point, but Isaka just says, my point, boops him off.
I actually do like this if I believe I understand what they're doing, which is I think they're just trying to get Beast for Numbers to soak a bunch of damage to charge up this ultimate for Lazy, but I don't know if they're going to get it in time. They just lost a bunch of players with Lazy only now getting the Kitsune Rush. I don't know if they're going to be able to play it. I think they're trying to play this like it's an Ana Nano, but it most certainly is not. They're going to get the DMAC onto Isaka. There goes this Kitsune Rush. They charged up. It needs to be big. There goes the dive onto the Baptiste. Immortality Field already thrown out. And Beast for Numbers will find that early pick, so it's going to be an OT push for the Pirates just to see how far they can take this stolen ship.
Well, let's hope that they don't C9 the point here, as it is very easy to get pushed off now when you look over at some of these ultimates here, especially if they really throw a wrench into the cogs here, thanks to that Deadeye. But overtime, hard reset,
Swoosh
Speedy.
gone.
Oh, this is huge. Swoosh gone in a flick.
Speedy!
There goes your support, Speedy. Finally, we're seeing the real damage numbers, but a big ultimate can scare them all off, and they do C9. They're afraid of it. They had the Winston bubble. Oh my God. Isaka winning the round, hitting him with the ... Wow.
If I were any of the Pirates team members or fans, if I were their drywall, I would be positively terrified because, oh boy, I just had to watch that and I physically recoiled from where I am standing and flopped onto my bed. That hurt. Oh, that hurt. That hurt so incredibly much because it was textbook out of the Pirates. An incredible stagger from them. They had that point in the palm of their hands and it slipped out.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all that happened. It slipped out.
It definitely slipped out, but also even if they had gotten it to that point, it would still be a rough distance to push the cart. Unfortunately, though, I don't know. I feel like their mental is down in the bed sheets with you. It did not seem like that is going to help him out. Even after Speedy, of all people, was getting the double pick on the supports, Isaka said, I don't need supports. F them. We're just going to win anyways. So you look over at Speedy. Oh.
That's the thing. With the double kill on the supports, like, yes, the next fight, they would have gotten hit with 5 ults and lost. Like, undeniably. But there's so much distance between that golden box of victory and where they would have ended up in that next fight. As Speedy and Lazy both go down, this is not looking good for the Pirates. They had a really golden opportunity, and it might have just gotten lost with a Diva Bomb. No kills out of it, but a Diva Bomb.
Yeah. The artists, I think that, I don't know. I don't even want to consider what they were thinking in that first wave here where the Pirates was on attack for the first time. But now we're seeing Simon maybe getting a decent pick on a swoosh, but look at how much space Osaka's making. All of this push, they still have 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, and they're just going to try to fully commit to it. Beast for Numbers might be able to punish, and Isaka biting off more than they can chew. Is this going to be another C9 from the Pirates, though? As now the cart, it's all ready to rear. Yeah, there we go. Good reset. Wait, Isaka actually got a kill on the way out as Baby Diva.
Yeah, Isaka did get that kill as Baby Diva. That respawn will be there, but the Pirates now have to hold this for 2 minutes. They aren't coming up onto any of their ults, but neither are the artists. They're looking to charge up this window first between Linrax and Lazy, both around 70% right now. Whoever gets to this window first might win this next fight. And it's currently Lazy up just a few points, but Simon goes down. That's a devastating loss for the Pirates. And with Moot's gone, that could be curtains unless something big comes up. And it's going to be Novulant coming up big on the Widowmaker. And there was so much hope here, Edu, for the Pirates. But it seems that it's just going to be all over As a Sombra gonna stagger in. Not the Goomba stomp.
You mean player.
You can't do that.
To end out the series, killing him with the mech call down. Honestly, Isaka, MVP from the artist today. And yeah, play of the game swoosh here. We all know the play of the game was really the C9 from the Pirates, but honestly, what a battle.
I feel robbed. I feel robbed, personally. I feel robbed. There's nothing else to say. I feel robbed because, ooh, this is anger I haven't felt in my soul for a while. This is anger that I haven't felt in a while. Well, okay. Let me break down exactly how robbed that the Pirates were in that last fight. If that C9 didn't happen and that bubble went down, those Diva Bombs had not killed anyone so far this series. That, a full fact. That map, I think we had 2 Diva Bombs, and none of them had killed a single player.
Well,
so
I'll jump in. Diva Bombs aren't supposed to kill. In this level of play. They're supposed to make you space. They're supposed to make them fly away from the point.
But what happened there, if that Diva Bomb had gone off and we had continued the map, what would have most likely happened is, yes, the Pirates would have captured the point. They would have rolled through probably about 10, 20 meters. They would have gotten hit with 5 ults and lost. Well, 4 ults because of no Diva Bomb. But because of that massive stagger, what, heaven only knows what could have happened past that. But with such a staggered out loss, you could have had some Tracer shenanigans, some Sombra shenanigans that had really been starting to set the Pirates apart. There was boundless potential for that next fight, and the C9, from a Diva Bomb thrown in at a time that completely unexpected as well. Because like you said, the point of the Diva Bomb isn't to get kills, it's to make them space. But at that point, you didn't have, for the artists, you didn't have the backup to let you take that space. Even if they gave you space, you couldn't have taken that space because you didn't have any of your supports. You would have just gone in and died. And so the only way that bomb gets any value is if it forces a C9. Like, in the Doctor Strange style, like, 10 billion universes, this is the only one where that bomb gets value, is if it forces the C9. And that's the world we live in. That's the multiverse we live in.
Well, I would argue, when we look at that game, I don't think that the Pirates got robbed. Well, they should have been doing the robbing, as their namesake says, but the artists just, they knew how to just play properly. Obviously, that first point on that third map was a little bit hectic, but at the end of the day, they still managed to come out on top with time, come out on top time and time again. And now we are not going to be following the artists. We're going to be following the Pirates and hoping that they can, really learn from the mistakes of fighting the artists and seeing those, although it was a little bit of a skill gap between the two teams, there is a lot of lessons to be learned when fighting the highest seed when you are the 5th seed. And that is to learn how to not get staggered, to learn what characters work well, picking a Junker Queen on Eichenwald when you're facing off against a Bastion, things like that. Little details that a lot of these players will be learning. And if you guys are watching at home, hopefully you will be learning as well, as we are going to be sending it to a short break. And then when we come back, it is going to be the Pirates versus the Puffins, a matchup that has not happened since season 1 of the Welsh Esports League. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stick around. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to the Welsh Esports League Season 5. We're here in day 1, already watching the Artists versus the Pirates. But, of course, my name is Edu. I'm here joined by KWing, as we are going to continue to watch the Pirates on their path to, hopefully, recovery against the Puffins. KWing, how are we feeling?
You know, I think for the Pirates, you have to be thinking about taking a little breath, taking a breather, and saying, all right, let's try and keep going. Because here, Pirates are fighting for second place. They have a lot on the line they're facing. Of course, the Puffins are fighting for second place in their group. So a lot riding on this when we're talking about such a small group in the way that we are running this in the Welsh Esports League. Smaller groups, so each match is very important. So for the Puffins and the Pirates, both sort of, you feel the vibe of a little bit of fighting for second place here against the Artists, at least in this group.
Yeah, definitely a possibility here. Now, when you do look at, how these two teams have squared off against each other, it's been a long time since the roster for the Puffins fought the roster. A little bit curious to see how they're going to do. Of course, the last time they fought, we had a completely different format. So season 1 and season 2, if you guys do recall, if you have been here with us for a while, was a 100%. The only part of the tournament is a round robin. Everybody fights each other. Winner on top wins the whole thing. So now in this new format, they do have a little bit more grace, a little bit less, stakes on the line in day 1. So as we are going in with a relatively low stake day 1 here, it's really feel the water, test what's hot. Clearly the Artists are in a absolute jacuzzi right now. They are cooking up everybody, boiling what they need to. But it looks like we actually have already lost a player for the Puffins. So a quick pause is needed here. Meta has been able to get back in at the last second. So, we're good.
It looks like they are, in fact, chilling as Meta rejoins onto the Symmetra to TP back, but it looks like going to stick onto that character as now the Puffins rolling out. On this Lucio, you have double dive as Jackie going to be playing very aggressive, going to get taken out by Beast for numbers. As now the Pirates looking for another dive target. Meta 1 going to go down. And it's going to be the Pirates taking a clean sweep of the point. And as Beast for Numbers goes down, so does Juan Tom. And there you go. Pirates take the point.
Wow. I mean, great gameplay here from them. And, Pirates are already off to a desperately different change of pace for them. And yeah, look at that. They're building up some ultimates really well. Their Tracers buying enough space. You have a Sombra being in their back line, just absolutely punishing the Puffins here on the blue team. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit for Beast of Numbers to actually go down, but that Reaper pick should force a switch up soon, as that is going to be a dead Beast. And yeah, good change up there from the Puffins.
Yeah, this is so-called free thinkers when they see a Winston on the enemy team, because, well, the Reaper is going to be quite the thorn in a Winston's side. Beast of Numbers, though, still sticking on to the Winston. You have to wonder if that's going to be a very good choice for the Pirates. As Meta 1 waiting in the shadows.
Yeah, I think they really do want that Winston, though, for the Tracer. But look at this. Meta lurking in the shadows, as you said it, and unfortunately not going to be able to find too much out of this, as, yeah, too much healing, a big stick, and that's why you keep the Winstons. You can't let your Tracers get behind you like that. Huge opening there from Speedy. But now with that, a big ultimate here as well. This is a Kitsune rush to get them onto the point. The cap is starting, but the damage goes in the way of the Puffins. Huge turnaround from them. Triple kill for this player, Unisco.
Yeah, and for Unisco, you an incredible job on cleanup for the Puffins, just making sure no one on the Pirates got out. And now for the Pirates coming in with 4 ults on the board, you have to be looking for maybe Jackie to try and charge up this beat quickly with that last 15%. As actually they're going to take out Lazy early for Unisco, giving Jackie some extra time to build up these ults. And there you go, the Puffins, renewed life, and they have a chance to even clean sweep it here.
Wow, big opportunities for them to really change the path of the game. But with the Puffins, they do have a Reaper, a Death Blossom ready and rearing. The only problem that I see is going to be Simon. If they can get that ultimate online, well, this might be GG. But wait a minute, a breakdown for what? For what, I say? The damage is here, and look at that! All the ultimates, meta's online, but they get flung off and saves themselves. Great movement, Diff. And now, the Pirates, 2 ultimates in, can't really do too much as everybody's staggered, and this will be going over to the Puffins. Yeah. Oof. Wait, Lucio? No, doesn't even break it.
Consider us thrown in, but it's only going to be there for Lazy and the Pirates. We're seeing some shades of the tragedy that we saw beforehand of exactly the problem that they had as the pulse bomb getting thrown right onto the wrecking ball. This fight is not over yet. It seems like the Puffins, they thought it was over, and it was. It seemed Beast for Numbers going to go down, and in the end, as the Puffins realized that there was in fact a Tracer stalling out the point, they'll clean it up and take round 1. But for the Pirates, we saw some hints of what we saw in that third map of last match, but we also saw hints of map 1 and map 2.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit rough here from the Pirates. Do recall that they are still the 5th seed over in the Esports Wales. Well, you do have Puffins, who are dead smack in the middle. Out of our 5 teams, they sit here in 3rd. So Puffins still a little favored, though. Their history, they've played in the Welsh Esports League just last season and performed fairly well. So from the Puffins perspective, they should be taking this just from their experience alone. While you look over at the Pirates, who, after having a little bit of a mental reset from that C9 in match number 1, I think it needs to really showcase their skills here.
Yeah, and they do have the skills, and we've been talking about it. We've seen some really good skills out of the Pirates. I want to see a little more of Wantom in a bit of trouble on this Winston versus the diva of Beast for Numbers. Beast for Numbers going to be putting out a lot of damage, a lot of pressure onto the face of this Winston. Controlling this high ground, controlling this center are the Pirates, and I love that for this Ash Sombra composition. With the Ana Brig, you really want to be controlling the high grounds. You want to just sit up there and not let anyone touch you, no siree. Point could be going the way of the Puffins. They just have that point presence. As the Winston dives up on top, some pressure on to the Tracer. But the Pirates still looking for a big opening. Big headshot, and Simon there to finish it up. What a great tag team out of the Pirates, out of that DPS duo. And now they're going to move right in, sees the hack onto the Genji, rolling on top of it, moving them away, but the supports are just keeping him up. You can't take out this Genji without taking out his supports. As Wantom gonna get taken down, goes in a bit too deep for the kill onto Speedy. As an extended fight here is gonna be a benefit for the Puffins, but it looks like in the end, the Pirates will eventually wrest control. Rally, though, out of Jackie is gonna continue to stagger this out. Diva Bomb from the Pirates. Not gonna land any kills, gonna try and force some spacing out of it. But no, not really getting the picks that they need. The Pirates, they aren't able to clean up. And so that long fight that was supposed to end in victory has ended in the bitter sting of defeat.
Wow, sting of defeat there, and the Puffins, I mean, just absolutely keeping this energy up. But look at this, a positive energy going on in the chat. No BM, instead an NS saying good job. And looking at this good job, it's a stagger, a huge one at that. Beast for Numbers needs to now learn from the mistakes of that first map and maybe go get hit by a car. Legitimately, like, there's a car over there that can help them with the reset.
Yeah, truly, getting that reset early is going to help the Pirates get more fights, build up more ults. Do have now the Nano online for Lazy, might be going on to this Diva. Some good ult, some good usage, some good aim out of Speedy, pardon, onto this Kiriko on the high ground. Can't take them out, Jackie gone. Now the Puffins in a bit of trouble, but we've seen them recover from worse before. Dragon Blade out of Meta 1, but it's only 1. There goes the Nano late in the game. On to Beast for Numbers. I'm feeling like they're gonna have to want that back.
I mean, they will. And, you know, you look over at KeyDog, 76% all the way getting that ultimate, will just take the point back with force. So this is a lot of pressure onto Speedy's Bob here to really do what they need. But Wantom coming on in with this ultimate can also secure the point. KeyDog starts off with a pick, has the ultimate, and now they're going to commit everything as this is the final point. Speedy recognizing that this Bob is in a terrible position, though, very easy to avoid, and Wompton is just going to be able to punish everybody and taking out 2 now. So this is probably going to be it for the Pirates. Not much they can do.
No, not much they can do at all, as the overtime wick gonna burn right down to its nub, and that's gonna be Puffins taking map 1 over the Pirates. And a big blow to the Pirates in that sort of mental reset that we really wanted to see out of them.
Yeah, but look at this play of the game. Womtom, of course, as Winston. Honestly, great space creation, especially against this team comp that we saw the Pirates pulling out. This Winston was able to really get behind their back lines, kind of pulling similar to what Isaka did to the Pirates, just constantly being aggro and that I am curious as to see what the Pirates are able to do. And one thing I did notice here is if you take a look at the Pirates, you know how you have the honor system that kind of dictates or tells a player how much they've actually played the game, because it's very hard to stay at 1 honor. I think everybody on Pirates is only at 1 commendation score, which tells me that they haven't played a lot recently.
I do believe that was what we saw in the lobby. It also could mean a bunch of different things. Generally, you don't see DPS players getting commended as much, and also that rank does generally decay very slowly over time. The system is fairly shrouded in mystery, but there are many reasons that could be the case. It could just be alternate accounts or not playing on their main account as much. Who truly knows? But what I do know is that we've already seen the Puffins take massive advantage over the Pirates in just map 1.
True. I mean, we have seen a big amount of just great gameplay here from the Puffins, and you know, as they are the still significantly stronger seed, I do want to see what the Pirates is able to do, as you know, they came in here 5th seed, and you know, there's a good reason for the seeding we have. It's been, I think they are rusty. I genuinely believe that it's been a while since we last saw them play, and I think it's been a while since they have played. Based on what we're seeing, a lot of their playbook is outdated, and hopefully they are going to be able to update it soon, as we are getting into our next map here. Now, will it be Eichenwald, which we saw in match 1? I don't believe so, but we are interested to see how it is going to fare. So, you know, everybody, I do want to say thank you again for sticking around. If you do want to see what other teams, where the standings are, maybe what other games the Welsh Esports League has cooking up, make sure that you check out our Welsh Esports Hub. It's definitely going to be the best place for you. And of course, that's at esportswales.org. So if you are interested in seeing all of the info regarding all of the games for the Welsh Esports League, make sure to check out welsh.esports.org or esportswales.org. But with that being said, map number 2 should be coming up soon. Any thoughts going into this next map?
I think that for the Pirates, it's just a bit of the same. I think Control isn't their venue. I really don't, because what we saw on Control was reminiscent of what we saw on Control versus the Artists. I think we saw so much staggered out. We saw players not really knowing what to do. And you can talk about what's new with Overwatch 2 in the past year-end change since it's been out, but Control is a map that's, you would think, pretty well figured out in terms of what to do, and in terms of playing D.Va and not staggering yourself out. And if your team has lost this fight, either die on the point or get out of there. And if you can't get out of there, die on the point. or just like jump off the map, whichever is closest. One way or another, I think that we might see more of the bravado and the gusto of the Pirates that we saw before in our next two maps, in our hybrid map, and then potentially in our third map and beyond. Well, definitely our third map, but potentially beyond.
Yeah, there is a good chance that we can see a, best of 5 go all the way 5 maps. This isn't a 3-0 guarantee every time. So, looking at the next map here, it is going to be very interesting. Knowing what the next map is a surprise for us as the players are currently picking it. So we're going to be jumping into potentially King's Row, potentially Eichenwald. Very excited to see what it is. And it is going to be Eichenwald. So, being able to lock in the previous one yet again. We did see Simon from the Pirates on that Junkrat have some amazing tire movement. We did see, though, a lot of misplays in team composition, picking that Junker Queen instead of somebody who can deal with a Bastion. But of course, that is very situational, and we are now getting into the game to find out what the situation will be. So, are any predictions as to what you would expect from the Pirates here after we watch them in match number 1?
I expect them to stick with their guns as to what they played against the Artists in our first match. I expect that Junkrat on the defense. We'll have to see whether or not the Puffins have picked attack or defense first. But regardless, I think that either of these teams, we're going to see potentially a bit of rush into maybe some dive on the second point if they want to switch up compositions. If they're not looking to switch up compositions, though, we might see them try the rush all the way through, even though the rush does tend to struggle once you get to second point.
Yeah, and that's definitely fair. I think that we are going to have some interesting strategies here for this team, but when it comes down to it, Eichenwald, we have yet to see what Puffins is able to perform on. So let's take a look at what Puffins is actually going to be locking in as we are now in the hero assembly. Let's assemble our heroes. Let's get geared to the teeth as it's Puffins up 1. Pirates still yet to take a map, and hopefully things will change as now we jump on in. Let me hope for maybe, just maybe, something like a Farah, something like the high ground here. And it looks like we're actually going to get none of those. Maybe low to the ground, maybe somebody short, maybe somebody like Torbjorn. A very intriguing pick here for the defense.
Yeah, it seems as though Puffins might be anticipating the dive coming out from the Pirates. They might be anticipating this Winston pick, which Torbjorn is quite a good Winston pick in terms of countering out this dive. And Meta is pulling out the lounging Junkrat pose.
Yeah, being a little sneaky there. Well, it also just gives them a lot of info. A lot of info around the corner. Love third person.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's a strategy here, especially when he has his trip. So he's actually looking at the trip over there, and once it gets trapped, he's going to be able to know, is it worth doing the damage on, and things like that. So, oh, what a lineup. Attack going through the corridor here.
I do like the TP. It doesn't seem like it got to where they wanted it to be going, so they're just going to rush on to point. But they're going to lose Speedy in the process, Jackie on the off angle. Great pick. And now in goes the Reinhardt, right into the middle of nowhere. And there you go. Lazy's going to go off the map, and it's a quick fight for the Puffins.
All right, and nice from them. Lazy being able to reset. No two staggers are alike, and this time being smart enough to jump off that map. We've talked about the staggers a lot today, but it's nice to see them actually improve over time. So now into this team composition, beast for numbers on that Reinhardt. I still want to see how they're going to be able to fare against the Sigma, as one rock can really send a, it's like a rock in your shoe. You don't want to walk around in it. So let's see what they can do with it. And they are on point. They are managing to make a lot of space, but I think there's too much damage being dealt here.
No, the Pirates are really dishing out the damage, but this Baptiste and Keydog, surprising. There's 3 members of the Puffins currently trying to push onto point, but they're not going to be able to. So a really interesting play there out of the Puffins. They're going to get run over by this Reinhardt with, I think that might be the new Mythic weapon.
Possibly. And, you know, skins don't equal wins necessarily, but for the sake of the Pirates,
cool.
this Reinhardt is definitely doing some numbers here. Beast for numbers, being a beast with the numbers of damage pretty much rivaling everybody else in this lobby. Just look at this. Just leave him alone. Oh my. And I also want to point out what we saw here from Jackie, this Torbjorn. He just kind of stood there staring at the point, didn't get too close, and Torbjorn's right click at point blank is a lot of damage. So I want to see Jackie actually start pushing up, and yeah, that's not going to happen when you get pinned like that.
What an incredible play there. I love the selfish window. Meta using the Riptire. Don't know how I'm feeling about it. I don't know. Nope, gonna get hit by the Fire Strike. A late ult, to say the least. A really late ult. It's gonna go off, but like, somehow Lace is gonna get taken down, but those are two big ults just being used willy-nilly.
So here we go. I mean, yeah, lots of willy-nilly ultimates here from the Puffins, but the Pirates, not so much. They are stacked up, saving well. I actually love the play that we're seeing here from this sim, being able to, you know, get that information alone just from having your turrets activate, and an ultimate like this to split off this fight. Huge opportunity here, but will we see a pick? Yes, we will, and it goes in the hands of the Puffins. Great turnaround there, and they will be in a ideal position as 2 ultimates were used up. Actually, no, 3 ultimates for the Pirates, and none of which found a lot of value. Simon, though, what are you doing?
Well, finds the pick onto Jackie, has the Riptire in hand, might be actually in a position to make some mayhem in the backline. Of course, their position is going to be revealed by Jackie, so it's not a mystery anymore. Beast for numbers, showing that wall who's boss. Trying to get away and just hits the wall. A really nearly throwing, lands that Molten Core on the bridge, so a pretty solid use of that Molten Core by Jackie. It's not going to pick up any kills, but, you know, those ults aren't meant to pick up kills when you're not in, like, silver. So either way, as the Pirates rotate around, they've got the Symmetric TP to rotate right back to the way they came. It's a trick so nice, they're going to flop it around and get absolutely torn to shreds by a Bastion.
Yeah, and I mean, not to be the bearer of bad news for the Pirates, but the last time we saw a Bastion, we saw a Beast for numbers need to switch off tank, and I still think that is the case. Now that Bastion being the thorn in their side, they're going to have an issue here. But Jackie, this Torbjorn, not finding a lot of value, getting booped off by that that Lucio like that. Huge opportunity, and a Shatter might be able to split these players off. The attack not looking too hot either. Yeah, I think the Pirates has lost all steam here.
Yeah, I mean, Wantom has just been running through a great Shatter, and Meta gonna use the ult pretty late in the fight. It's the Pirates showing up in a bit of a scrappy fashion, and now they're really struggling. And with the Bastion and the Torb, it's a lot of shield pressure, and this Reinhardt shield is not built to last that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Pirates has a lot to learn about team composition, character switching, and hopefully building momentum again. You look at Wompton, though, assuming that the Symmetra is going to try the same strat here and just waiting for it in a great high ground spot. But instead, they go high, and now it might be going a little low for HP-wise. Luckily, Lazy's doing a great job healing, but here's the ultimates. Oh, the burns. Oh, it's a triple kill coming out here from this support. Yeah, what a supporting character they are. Look at all this damage, getting up close and personal. That's a 4K. Goes for the BMT bag there. I mean, kind of earned it with the triple kill. But at the end of the day, the Pirates, I think you don't have to kick them when they're down.
No, you really don't. And especially with all these ultimates that the Pirates are bringing, they do have the opportunity to push through. I think if they have a fight, it's here, the TP right on top of the Baptiste, able to escape by Pencil jumping up in the air. Wantom gonna get taken down immediately. There goes the charge from Beast. Looking to land onto the fleeing supports as they're trying to get through no man's land. Jackie on the Torbjorn gonna throw out this ult. I'm gonna say it, Jackie. I feel like you should have held that one, Bessie, but Meta won, though, coming back with 2 kills. Gonna get taken out. The hammer comes out, but sadly, Beast for Numbers does in fact have a bit of a better hammer there. As KeyDog, though, gonna shut down Beast for Numbers as the overtime wick burns down. Riptire's not gonna land much of anything. It's 2v2, 2v3 on the point now. Pirates advantaged in this 2v3, and they're gonna get the respawns quicker, but they're dealing against the Reinhardt, and here comes Meta 1.
Wow.
I can't
the
believe
Bastion.
it.
The Bastion, he goes uncontested, and that's going to be a little bit of a C9 there, pulling him off. And yeah, round 1, a secondary C9 from the Pirates. This time not as critical, but at the end of the day, the Pirates, they did get at least to the second phase of this 2-phase payload mission. Now, I will hand it to them. The Puffins knew the weakness. Meta 1, that pick was insane for the Bastion. Just lots of value out of it. But I gotta point fingers at Jackie, and I gotta ask, why stay on the Torbjorn for so long when a lot of the kills, dying to supports, getting booped off the map, not really adding too much there, pulling your hammer out in the face of a Reinhardt saying which is bigger. It just doesn't really make sense to me. So let's hope that they are going to be able to, find a new plan here right now.
I mean, I do get the idea behind the Torb pick, which is, generally speaking, they're going to... My thought was initially they thought they were going to be bringing the dive, but I think that it was, we want to put so much pressure on the shields, we want to put so much pressure on this Reinhardt shield that it is never up, that there you go. It's going to put so much pressure on the shield with that Torbjorn right click, with the turret up, that there's just going to be nothing that they can do. They also probably saw the Tracer that the Pirates can sometimes bring off of Speedy and Simon, the Sombra as well, the pressure that can put there. So I think the Torbjorn is a good pick on the defense, not as much on the offense, which is why we're seeing the Jackie legs.
Wow, already the Puffins has made an explosive entrance into this point, and yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed thanks to that Symmetra TP, and yeah, there's not a lot they can do. Full charge beam Symmetra, fully pushing these players out. Unisco getting one, and Meta getting the final one. So with 3 minutes and 25 seconds to spare, they have managed to take the first point. Compare that to the Pirates, who had quite a battle to get that. Now, you look at this, 6 minutes to go, not too far to move. Jackie, this is what I like to see. Jackie, much better on the soldier, and I love the output of damage.
We love the DPS of the soldier, and now taking position on the high ground, right above the door. Beast for Numbers now on to the Diva. And all I can say is I wish it was last round. I wish we had the Diva during the Bastion times. But now it's against a soldier and a Symmetra, and you're gonna get a bit less value out of it. Wantom in a bit of trouble on the side of the Puffins, going very deep. Lazy, though, gonna get taken out, and that might just be curtains. That might just be curtains for the Pirates for this map, is that they just lost their main support, and the Lucio can't provide the healing. They're just gonna get the boot onto Wantom. But for Meta and the rest of the Puffins, in some trouble, gonna get taken out. The Pirates able to stay alive despite losing Lazy.
Yeah, I actually like that movement there from Jack, making it very hard for him to get taken out now, and actually buying time for his support to heal him up. Great movement from Jackie. Keep it up, and now Jackie's going to be able to stay alive, punish everybody, kill that Kiriko. Can you find more? But no, you have to focus up, get a double down, and there it is. That is going to be map number 2, going over to the Puffins, which means the Pirates is still yet to pick up one.
This is something that I've seen a lot of struggle with for the Pirates, is cleanup time. Because we've seen now multiple times the Pirates win a map, the up 1 or 2 picks, and basically be in a position where all they need to do is look at the enemy team, look at the massive advantage they have, chase them down and kill them. And we have seen them time and time again not be able to target focus. I think they see that they're up an advantage in the fight, and potentially your team communication breaks down, your target focus breaks down, and so everyone starts to focus one of these 3 team members, and the cleanup doesn't go as fast as it can. Whereas you have the Puffins being a bit more coordinated. They managed to find a pick, they managed to find 2, and all of a sudden, they've turned it around. And we've seen that multiple times where the Pirates have had the advantage, they've been up person, they've had the closer spawns even, and they've still gotten overwhelmed. And it's tough to see, because that's, in terms, based on how you would think, it would be the simplest part of the fight, is the cleanup afterwards. But it can be incredibly difficult to follow through.
True. I do think that we're seeing a lot of struggle with the follow through. I mean, when you look at map number 1, it was tough here for the Pirates to really balance it back. But, you know, I'm more looking at a lot of the issues that the Puffins did not have relative. You know, we saw Wonton, that tank, able to zone out and predict a lot of the plays that were coming out from the Pirates side. And a lot of it also comes down to team composition, the Bastion being in their back line. Lots of things need to be adapted on the fly, which takes too long. But with that being said, map number 3 here, we might see a repeat here of Oasis. Let me double check if we can get that map pick here. But with it is going to be Junkertown. Junkertown, actually one of my favorite maps, to be honest with you, especially as somebody who plays Ana. I think that this map has a lot of real predictability with what kind of team comps you're going to have. I want to see those snipers. I want to see those echoes. I want to see, you know, even Reinhardt. Sigma is pretty solid here. But with that being said, Junkertown is also a map where it is very punishing. If you are on attack, you can get pushed all the way back into your spawn with little to no resistance from the defense. So it really does come down to who is starting on what side to learn what strategy is best going forward. So what are your thoughts on this map?
I think for Junkertown, you really have to be mindful of just how easy it is to get, like you said, spawn camped, and how difficult these pushes can be. You've seen a lot of these Junkertown pushes get stopped very, very early on, under that bridge, right in that open section even before the end of point A. You've seen a lot of these really difficult pushes, and now for the Puffins, playing an interesting composition here with the Reinhardt, Pharah, Genji, with the Iari, Zenyatta backline, which is pretty interesting to me. The Pirates playing a playing a standard sort of bunker-esque comp. What is this, 2016?
I mean, at least it's not pirate ship, okay? It could be worse. But
you know, Bastion. They were playing the Bastion.
Possibly. I'm more so looking at the double snipers here. It's put a lot of pressure on the aim department, especially against, you know, Pharah. But if this Widow knows how to click, it's going to be a quick pick for them. Jackie now going down, and big trades up here. But hopefully we could find some more openings if Speedy can keep that damage up. Almost getting the shot under the floorboards there. Instead goes for the high ground. We do see Simon, though, carrying their weight. Nice Hanzo damage, and hopefully a switch up here ASAP from some of these players, as I think it's a hard reset for the Puffins.
They're going to be sticking with this composition, and you have to be a little nervous about that, because the Pharah into the Widowmaker could be pretty rough. Looking for the jump shot, nothing in the kill feed, and I think the pin just went onto the Sigma. You want to talk to me about that, Pirates? You wanna bring that play back here? You wanna talk about it?
Well, you know, there's not much to talk about. Some people just like to die. But with a team kill coming out, oh, I love this position from Jackie. And Speedy, though, great opening. Oh, Holy. Rock to the face, nearly getting killed thanks to Speedy's follow-up, who instead is going to be able to take out the Genji here. And now I'm looking at this KWing, and I don't know. I think this is Pirates just winging it, but with Speedy getting these picks, they could have a chance to fly into a new opening here.
They could have a bit of opportunities. Speedy gonna get taken down in the air. Wantom gone. So it's an even trade there, but they take out Lazy, and that's it. There goes the support, and there goes the neighborhood. The Puffins able to clean up incredibly well, and oh, I don't like this. If they get the stagger on the Sigments, could be real bad, and they are. I don't like this out of the Pirates. They get staggered so frequently.
Wow. Absolutely beautiful job there. And, you know, you look at this, though. Speedy, come on, keep it up. And the fact is, Pirates is given so much space thanks to Speedy's aim. There is no capitalization on it. I need to see Beast for Numbers actually jumping in and cleaning up after Speedy is able to take out 1, 2, 3 players at a time, and they're just not having that luck. But the Pirates are slowly moving this cart. It is now getting out of the final chokehold that this map has for you. But oh my God, how did that grab? How did that grab? Simon jumped out of the way.
Jumped right in the way, and Wantom in a bit of trouble. Gonna get saved by the Zenyatta. There goes the captive son. It's gonna burst Lazy, Beast gone, Key Dog with a triple, and the tactical crouch as well.
Wow. Huge from them. And now a big setup here. The Blades coming up, and Key Dog able to steal the kill. I see a little bit upset there, Meta 1 might be, but at the end of the day, the Pirates, the spawn killing is still happening. They're not being able to get too far out of here. So the main concern I had is definitely a concern they have.
It's completely a concern that they have. 59 meters, all that they have to show for it. There goes the charge and the shatter online for Wantom. Wantom's a bit stuck. Gonna shatter the Winston and make it out. Nope, not gonna make it out alive. Nearly made it out alive though. Brilliant effort, but you know, they tried. They tried very hard. 30 seconds remaining on the clock, and the Pirates do have the window, but they don't have the Winston. What a flick.
I mean, that's his thing. It's the flicks and the picks. It's the damage that's really keeping this team up. And you look at this Tracer, who might be able to get Jackie down, but no, I don't think that's going to happen. Having to now try for the back line. It's Simon! Keeps it going, but it's actually Speedy and Simon switching roles for a second to make that opening. And, you know, if I look at that Twitch chat, you guys were saying keep an eye out for Speedy. This is the guy who's supposed to be carrying this team. And yes, they are doing the damage. Great stick, but not a pick. Not enough damage. Maybe the overtime's enough, but don't C9 again. Don't C9. Pirates, you can't have a third one in one day. And it looks like they are going to just get forced off.
Well, they're going to keep on pushing the Pirates. They do lose Lazy, but a pretty economical fight, all things considered. Oh, Meta 1 turning on to the Pirates' kryptonite, the Bastion.
Oh, but will they get there in time is the question, as we need someone to start stalling ASAP. And it looks like they do touch. The Wrecking Ball's on the point. Stop the payload, and they see 9! Pirates, you can't do it twice!
Me hearties, ye need to stay on the payload. You can't leave your ship like that. You can't.
They went overboard too many times, and I think that's going to cost them a very rough day one, to say the least. I guarantee Puffins is just going to be able to push them back now. And I know that's a biased and tough claim, but double C9 and not even past point number 1. I don't know. Puffins is looking pretty good here moving in.
Oh, they're looking incredibly good here. We are looking at a very, very possible Puffins 3-0. And for Pirates, I think there are a lot of lessons to take from this. And I think the biggest lesson to take from this is that it's not even a skill issue. Like, it would be one thing if, like, kind of in the artist's game where, you know, the artists are so incredibly good individually at each of their roles as well as a team. But I think the thing is that we see each of the individual skill that each of these players has. It is just putting it together. It is just that play that is separating the Pirates from real success in the WEL. I think that's all that is stopping them from being incredibly successful, because we've seen Speedy, we've seen Simon, we've seen Beast for Numbers. I mean, Simon's popping off right now. There's a giant anti-nade from Unisco, and that might just be a big old loss for the Pirates. They lose Simon, and it's an even trade, but they're in trouble, separated.
Yeah, it's a bit rough here. So already early into this round, you're seeing the Puffins kind of, taking a lot more space than I think the Pirates has even given them. Just punishing. And look at that, the Sombra taking out Simon, the Widow that is so critical here. Beast for Numbers able to do a little bit of damage, but now it's the Cassidy's turn, and Cassidy getting a pick on a Jackie here, so not too shabby, and good cleanups from this DPS. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the whole picture, and you're still seeing a lot of space being taken and not a lot of staggers. Unfortunately, though, I'm thinking that the Puffins will just have a little bit of a reset here to just win this game outright.
Big stagger onto KeyDog at the end there, getting themselves a little bit of time, but Simon's getting hounded by Meta 1 on the Sombra. They might not be able to escape spawn. They have to call the Cassidy just to keep them up and basically escort them away. There goes the virus onto Simon, but the Widowmaker able to make it out alive. That Sombra is gonna have her number the entire time. Moots is gonna go down, an incredible anti-nade out of Unisco, who's popped off. Oh, and the aerial shot from Jackie onto Simon. That's gonna be the door slammed in the face of the Pirates, and the Puffins will take a decisive 3-0 victory over the Pirates, getting themselves what seems second place, or at least guaranteeing themselves a fight with the artists for first place next week. First place in the group, I should say. We still got to
Yeah, as we're only in week number 1 here, I will say, with the way everything's been going, KeyDog proving that it is a triple DPS meta. You have a support being able to pop off with the most amount of kills, the play of the game, and locking this in for the Puffins. And I do think if you are the Pirates, if you are watching right now, doing a low VOD review, update your roster, not your team roster, but your actual agents, what you know how to play, because I have not seen any Alaris getting picked. I haven't seen anything that has matched the meta right now, and the meta has changed. It's been a while since the Pirates have been able to perform a playbook that wasn't outdated. So looking into this next week, I know we have a big upturn, a big change of plans here, and if the Pirates wants to not remain the bottom seed, we're gonna have to see some updated gameplay. But with that being said, KWing, it's been an interesting day. 2 3-0s out of these best of 5s, and honestly some great showcases from a lot of unique players like Isaka over on the Artists and KeyDog over on the Puffins. But any thoughts from you?
I think that if you are the Pirates and if you are looking at this as a VOD review, really though, to be frank, it's not an individual issue. It really isn't. And that's the best part, is that it's not like you need to train incredibly hard and make sure that you don't need to grind your aim. You don't need to do all this to improve your own personal play. It's just coming together as a team, and that will come in time. Taking that break off from the WEL and now coming back into teams that have been playing together and scrimming together and practicing together for those 6 months that we've been on break from having a WEL, and the even longer it's been since we've had the Pirates in the Welsh Esports League. You have to say, we have the pieces of the puzzle right here. They're all in the box. It's just about putting it together. It's just about thinking about your team play. It's just thinking about your team compositions and what characters you're playing. It's not about... None of your players are bad. Like, you are all incredibly good players. It's all just about coming together as a team. And when you do that, the sky is the limit. Because when the stars aligned, they aligned in your favor. So I hope that we see more of those stars aligning for the Pirates in the future. But we're going to be signing off here for Overwatch on the Welsh Esports channel. If you're interested in not just Overwatch, but some incredible esports all around the scene, I'm talking Rainbow Six, I'm talking League of Legends, I'm talking so many more, Dota, League of Legends, CS, Rainbow Six, EAFC, FIFA, Valorant, Tekken, Rocket League, F1. We've got it all right here, so hit that follow button, hit that bell if you're interested in being notified the next time the Welsh Esports League pops online. But until then, I think that's all for us, isn't it, Edu?
Yes, it is. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week with more of the Welsh Esports League.